And the Crunchy for Best Health Startup goes to Theranos.
She became the toast of Silicon Valley, the world's youngest self-made female billionaire at the age of 30.
I'm humbled every day by the people we get to work with.
What was the first time?
At a tech conference in 2014, CEO Elizabeth Holmes summed up the mission of her startup Theranos.
To make it possible to run any laboratory test from a tiny droplet of blood.
Theranos gained a valuation of $9 billion, but it unraveled after investigations by reporter John Carreyrou, which led to a best-selling book, documentaries, and soon-to-be Hollywood movie starring A-lister Jennifer Lawrence.
There were all kind of stories and things coming out from people inside, including a whistleblower who was in their labs, who had been testing the technology and just said it just does not work.
Holmes and her ex-boyfriend and chief operating officer Ramesh Balwani now face multiple counts of wire fraud, stemming from allegations of defrauding doctors, patients, and investors. That includes everyone from multimedia magnate Rupert Murdoch to former Education Secretary Betsy DeVos. Theranos board member and investor James Mattis, who served as U.S. Defense Secretary after departing from the company board, has testified that there came a time when he didn't know what to believe about Theranos anymore.
The big names who came in on this should have realized that it was probably very unlikely that you could get a single machine that could do everything.
So there we go. And there it is.
And anyone in the medical world would have questioned that. But most of her advisors had no medical background. They had business contacts, and that's what she really used them for.
In addition to arguing that failing is not a crime, Holmes' defense team plans to lay the blame on ex-boyfriend and COO Balwani. In court filings, Holmes accuses him of manipulating, controlling, and abusing her both physically and sexually. Balwani's lawyers call those allegations salacious and inflammatory.
Silicon Valley looks at this and goes, hey, this is not the last time that these kind of messy relationships get involved. You could argue that this gives Silicon Valley a black eye, but even if it takes a bit of a negative hit, it has no impact on, in the sense of getting new revenue, getting more startups. Ironically, we're even seeing more new startups being created in incubators here in Silicon Valley.
The trial is expected to last about 3 months. If convicted, Holmes could face up to 20 years in prison. Mark New, CGTN, San Jose, California.